Welcome back to another episode of Cats Out the Bag. I'm Kat. Today I have Nick here with me. He's back again.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me back, Kat.
I know. Finally,
Right? I
we've
had
been
like
trying
PTSD. Like I thought today, I was definitely gonna get the call.
Yeah.
Not today, guy.
Sorry. You get in the boot. So I'm bringing him back here for the Sobriety Series that I started. It's really a little series I'm doing focused on sobriety, addiction, recovery, basically everything that surrounds it. Not just like on whether you're sober or you're not, or in remission or whatever you're dealing with. So for the people that don't know you, just tell us who you are and what you do.
So, my name is Nick Greystone, aka Nizza. Um, I'm a musician, an actor, producer. Uh, I've been in recovery for 9 years, coming up on 10. May 15th, 2015. Was the day I hung up my boots, so to speak. I am opioid and narcotic free, and yeah, it's been a hell of a journey. Um, I didn't. I don't know. I never thought that I would get out of the grasps of it. I tried so hard for so long because I just got sick of being sick, and I think it sounds cliche when people say when you hit rock bottom, there's really no other way than to do it then. But that's exactly what it felt for me when I hit rock bottom. When I came clean, I was very I was a closeted addict, like functioning. I had a full, I still have a full time job. Back then I had a full time job. I was new as a dad. My daughter was born only, she was 6 months at that time. She was having some health issues going on. Thank God now she's gone past that. But, I was hiding it from my parents, friends, those that really knew me, like my ex wife at the time. She's very street smart. So when we got back together, before this, I told her, look, there's two things. One, I love you. Two, I'm going through some shit right now. I want you to know. And before I even started talking about it, she knew already. She's like, I could tell. It wasn't in a place to tell you about it, but I'm glad that you told me about it. And, I was clean for a little bit when we got back together, but then, like, I had a relapse, and that last 6 months was really bad. And, then that day, May 15th, 2015, was the day that all the shit hit the fan, and that's where my journey began.
So before we get to your sober journey, when did you first start using and why?
Um, I was always a experimental kid as far as doing everything. I've tried every drug under the sun, drinking to, like, there was no limits for me. I never had an addictive personality though. I could always go out, drink, smoke, snort, do whatever, and the next day I could just go about my business and everything. What happened was with the opioids. I was working and I slipped on black ice and I broke my ankle, and basically from there, um, I was prescribed uh, Percocets. They started me off, actually, no, they actually started me off on Vicodins. So the Vicodins, I was doing for a couple, maybe 2 months or whatever. The pain was still there, so they upped it to 10 milligram Percocets. And basically, I would get 90 Percocets in a month's supply. And I just started dabbling in that. At first, I was taking as prescribed. Then um, I heard that you can get high off of it if you snort them and get a quicker buzz. And for some reason, I just started doing that. And I was around people that had similar things. They had like injuries and stuff. So we had like our own little like drug mill. So like we would never run out until we started running out.
Right.
So I went from, going through my 90 in 20 days to going through my 90 in 5 days. I would blast through them. Unbelievable. And, that just, it was very easy to get them. This is before, I believe it was the beginning of the opioid epidemic. This is before the Medford situation on Father's Day when that laugher went in and killed those 4 people. So to get pills back then was very easy. And it was much cheaper than it turned out to be because, once the epidemic started taking off, that's when it became like the hottest thing and prices were going crazy through the roof with that.
Right.
So
how much would it cost you think?
Back then, it was cheap. Like, people didn't realize. So, you could get like, $1 a pill maybe, or, even like 50 cents or whatever. Like, it was nothing. Towards the end, it was like $10 a pill.
I feel like it was like,
$15.
I remember because when I was younger, I had like a group of people that I hung around and they would do pills. And this is such an embarrassing story, but so I would hang out with them, but I wouldn't do the pills, but I would pretend to be that I did.
Okay.
I was in the drug mill.
So you just like doing one of these?
But I didn't have the money to buy it because at that time, Roxy's were like $25 a bottle.
All right, so that's where it got to.
They're all like sniffing in their little crew, and I'm just sitting here like,
oh wow,
like pretending.
Actually, you saved lives.
I was like, I could have shot a documentary during those times. They're nodding out, and I'm like making sure their cigarettes are out.
You're like the guardian angel of like, no.
I mean, after a while there, I kind of I started stepping back, and that wasn't my mill anymore.
Yeah. Wow. I thought I heard it all. But like, I'm serious about saying that you probably saved some lives because you were taking your portion, but not doing it. You weren't taking it all.
No, I couldn't. They wouldn't even give them to me.
Oh.
Yeah,
so
I was just there.
They were on. They knew that you didn't take them.
No, I think that I came with my own.
Oh, okay. No, I'm good, guys. I'm good. I got high in the car.
I just did a line in the bathroom.
Right.
Meanwhile, I was like,
I'm embarrassed. I don't want to do it in front
my
of
mom
you.
won't give me an allowance. I'm so sorry. Like she really wouldn't. Like, thank God she didn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I probably would have been there with them doing it.
Yeah, totally. Like when you're saying $25, yeah, that's what it got to be. Like I remember back in the day that wasn't the case. It was so much cheaper. Like that's why a lot of these kids graduate to doing dope. Like they're doing heroin because heroin was much cheaper to get. You know, thank God I never made that step. I mean, I don't know. I guess I could afford to keep up with the prices because of my job, which is fucked up to say, but like, yeah, that's what happened with me.
Yeah, I didn't have a job. I mean, even if, because some of the situations I'm talking about are in like 2009.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they were doing, but I didn't have the money, even if it was $1 or 50 cents for what they were doing. I had no money at all.
Yeah.
I was just riding coattails.
All right.
But still, thank God. But
yeah.
I mean, I can't even.
I'm so happy that you told that story because it kind of like eased the tension. So now it's like, it can be serious, but definitely can be now like,
Yeah. Being sober is good.
Oh, no, it's a good thing.
So you're going through the trials and tribulations, and then you finally decide on May 15th to get sober.
Yeah, it was
the
bad.
6 months leading to that. How bad was it? What do you think like the craziest time was during that?
I
Little
mean, the
stretch.
worst thing about that 6 months is I had a relapse the day my daughter was born.
Mm.
And the reason being is it's not an excuse, but her mom, my ex wife, almost died during childbirth. Um, she had a natural tear that they didn't catch, and she needed, like, I don't even know, like 90 something stitches. She almost lost half her blood. And my daughter swallowed fluid coming out. So basically, I had a doctor telling me, all right, listen, congratulations, but you have your wife that's almost bled to death, and then you have your kid that's going to the NIC unit, and um, there's complications on both ends. So I'm standing there and I'm like, well, what the fuck? I got like family. I have her family in the waiting room, and it's supposed to be a happy day. And now I'm stuck in like, what door do I choose, Doc? Where am I going? And he said, don't worry, your kid's going to be okay. Thank God. Go with your wife. So I ended up, before getting there, I called my friend and I was like, dude, are you close? Yeah. What's going on? Well, I just had a baby. Oh, congratulations. Can you come up to the hospital and bring me something? Are you serious? Yes, I'm serious. I'm having a very fucked up day. I need to get high. And that's what I did. I got high, and that's the only way that I was able to deal with it because I was a fucking mess. And from there, the 6 months, that's the thing about addiction. Like, you can take away, you can stay away from it, but that addiction is working out hard. It's kind of like fucking, the way that I describe it, it's kind of like Clubber Lang in Rocky 3. That motherfucker's in the basement. He's fucking jacked and he's like fucking working hard and he's ready to come out and kill. So that's why so many people go clean and then they come back and they do that one hit and it gets them. So
Mm-hmm.
at that last 6 months, my tolerance had almost doubled. So I was basically at like, I was doing about 25 to 30 pills a day of Percocets, 10 milligram Percocets, snorting them every hour, you know. And that day on May 15th, I thought that people were after me. I thought like the authorities were on to me. For what reason, I don't know. It's not like I did anything wrong except get high. But I bugged out at work and I asked them to call an ambulance. And the ambulance came and got me. They brought me to the emergency room and I'm sitting in the bed in the emergency room. And all of a sudden, my parents walk in and my ex-wife walks in and they're all standing there and they're looking at me and I'm like, well, I guess this is a great time to tell you all I have a problem. And that's it. From there, I took off about a month from work. They sent me to Newmick, and they were thinking that I was also having a nervous breakdown because I was kind of like white knuckling it and I was seeing all types of shit. Like I was hallucinating and really violently ill. So they set me up on a detox program there, and they were giving me methadone just to like take care of the withdrawals. But in the same sense, I was still hallucinating, so they put me in the psych unit. And basically, I got scared straight because once I'm in the psych unit and I
Stony
feel
Brook.
like in Nassau University Medical Center, so that's a pretty you say crazy, but yeah, it's a really fucking bad place to be. You know, like it's just uh, I'm looking around and I'm like, I don't fucking belong here. Like I don't want to be here, and I'll never do it again, and I haven't since then. So it's basically like I was scared straight. Like
Mm-hmm.
you hear that term. That's my scared straight. Like I was really I'm not like a very I'm not a religious person at all. And I was praying to get the fuck out of there. I was like, whatever I have to do, I swear I'll eat my vegetables. I'll be a good fucking citizen. Whatever it takes, just get me the fuck out of here. And yeah, it was scary
What
being
if
in
you
there.
find out like 20 years from now on your deathbed that like your family set that place up? And it wasn't actually, you weren't there. You were like in someone's basement.
Oh, I don't know. That's some fucking serious hallucinating because there are so many things that happened inside those walls that I saw, that I encountered from day one. Like the first day that they put me in that part, I had a roommate, and that was the last day I had a roommate because this dude was like this little leprechaun looking fucking guy who only spoke German, and he jumped up on the bed in the middle of the night, and they warned me about him, that he likes to sing and do all this shit, and he was naked and he was spitting all over the place and he was singing some shit in German, and I fucking got up and I was like, you get him the fuck out of here or I'm gonna kill him. Like, I'm screaming. They ended up taking him out of there. I didn't see him again, but that was my last night of having a roommate, and they just kept me by myself. And I participated in like the group and everything. Like, just I wanted to get through it. I just wanted out, and that was a pretty low point. Another low point, once I got out, I went to go talk to a psychiatrist or a psychologist, and she was telling me that I had irreversible brain damage from the drugs that I took.
Mm.
That's a hard fucking thing to hear. Like, wow, like the shit that I really did to myself. Like, nice job, asshole.
Right.
I kind of felt very low about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kept it also hidden. Well, at that point, I didn't tell anybody really what was going on. And once I hit the 5-year mark, I was proud of myself that I kept, being clean. And I felt like maybe it's time for me to share my story, because you don't know who's going through it, but maybe they see somebody like me and they're like, wow, if Nick can do it, maybe I could.
Mm-hmm.
And I just try to inspire, because that's the last thing any family needs, is to like bury a loved one because of the shit that's going on right now. It's a bad thing, and I feel like my generation missed out on it. Like, like we didn't. The generation that was underneath me has so much more people lost, I feel, because of this epidemic that's going on, and I still feel like it's going on strong.
Yeah, it really is. My parents are alcoholics, so it's different, but it's the same.
Yeah.
But the pill and drug epidemic is like stronger than ever.
Yeah. It's so much money. Like, it really stems for the money that like the pharmaceutical companies make, the doctors make, before even it gets into the patient's hand.
Right.
Everyone's making money off of this.
Mm-hmm. Did you watch that movie?
Which one?
What was the movie, Ben? About the it was like the creation of the perk.
Oh, it was like a documentary? Or
No,
it
it was
movie?
like the whole movie surrounding making it and bringing it to the first patient.
Oh, wow.
What? I think so. I can't think of the name of it, but it was really crazy showing about how they basically did all of these things to get the people hooked on it, to spread the word.
Wow, so it was kind of like they knew what they were doing.
Oh, they knew what they were doing. 1,000%.
Wow.
Just like, I guess, like cocaine back in the day, in the 60s and 70s, I feel like it was cool to do it. Well, I wasn't alive, but still.
Yeah. It is cool to do it. I mean, like, it sucks doing it, but it's always like that another cliche term. It's always chasing the dragon with that, because like you do it and you're never going to get as high as the first time you do it.
Right.
That's with anything. You're always going to be chasing that dragon, trying to get to the fucking next level of trying to get high, and that's when you die.
Right. So do you follow the program, or you're just sober for yourself?
Just sober for myself. Like, I've never, the only meetings that I've ever gone to were inside the facility, and I just never signed up for it. The reason I never signed up for like any like meetings like outside or whatever is because I feel I'm not saying a lot of it's good for people that want to do it and whatever gets them through. But I also feel that people that are not ready to get clean or just court ordered or whatever go, and it's a good place to find.
Mhm.
So, there was a hookup that I found twice through a meeting because one of my friends that were going to it became friends with somebody that was there, and that's how we had a hookup for a while once we were running out.
Yeah.
So I always had that in the back of my head, and I'm like, you know what? I just want to remove myself from every possible
I mean, it's amazing
temptation.
for the people that can do it. That it really is for the people that don't follow. What do you have?
Oh, the movie's called
American
American Pain. It's
Pain.
about two bodybuilders, Chris and Jeff George, that operate a franchise of pain clinics in Florida. But they basically just handed out. This is with Vicodins. This is
Yes,
not Percocet.
Vicodins.
Okay.
This is like the early 2000s.
All right. All right. Yeah, no, I got to check it out. Definitely.
Yeah, it was really crazy because it really just showed you how fast so many people just got their paws on it and how they were just the doctors were just giving it out to people for like everything.
I never understood addiction until it happened to me. Like, I was just like, how can someone be addicted to something? Like, I just don't get it, And like, fuck, man. Like, how I got it, it was just, it happened one. I felt like it was like overnight. Like I woke up one day and I was just like, shit, I can't live without this right now. And I was always like worrying about running out or worrying about like my next high. Like, is it going to be there? Like, I enjoyed it so much, but then it became like I was so dependent on it. It was bad, and I did such like backward shit just to make sure that I would get it. Uh, One story that I have about doing backward shit. Um, my ex girlfriend at the time, uh, her mom had some kind of procedure done, and it was like dental or whatever, and she had um, Vicodins. So I was over the house, and I knew I was going to be running out during the week, and I was always looking for like an extra couple just to make sure. And I was like, oh, I, I go see my doctor at the end of the week, but it was really the following week. And I said to her, I'm like, do you mind just giving me some so I can like last until I go to my doctor? She's like, yeah, no problem whatsoever. So she ended up giving me. She's like, I don't take them; they make me sick. So she's like, how many do you want? So I'm like, oh, whatever, I'll take five. So I took the five. I went home. We went back to our apartment. As soon as I got home, I was like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom. I took the five, put them in my pocket, took Tylenol, put them in my thing, put them in the bag. I crushed them up, and I knew that we were doing laundry the next day. So I'm like, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the laundry and make sure it looks like it's wet. So I'm going to be like, oh, I forgot them in my pocket. And then I'll be able to get another five because I'm going to be like a sob story and be like, oh my God, look what happened. And that's exactly what I did. And I got another five. So then I got 10. So it's just like I came up with, and this is just one story of me being a scumbag just to make sure that I knew I was gonna have my supply. Like I didn't care who I lied to, and
Mhm.
like you deceive people around you and stuff, and you do shit that's not like stand up, and that's not my personality, but that's what it made me do.
Right. So what do you think would be something you would tell to families dealing with people that go through loved ones with addiction?
Um, Nobody wants to get clean unless they want to get clean. You can't tell them. You can sit there until you're blue in the face, beg them, but they have to do it under their own. I feel like their own way. Like, just patience. I feel like listen to them and try to get to the root of it. And, like, it's tough. You know, like I just feel like you could be nice to to the person that's going through it, and some people say tough love, but I think that's just going to make a person um, more stressed out, and they would want to party more. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
I guess the tough love approach wouldn't work.
Right. How do you think it's been for you since that day? Like, how was your sobriety been? Is it like, do you have days where you just want to do it or it's gone?
Um, in the beginning, it took me a while to find myself again, like to feel normal. Took me almost like a year and a half, almost 2 years. It was a long time. That was the roughest part, being newly sober, because I didn't believe in myself. But then I reached a point where, like, yeah, I can walk away. I'm good. I don't think about it. And now it's just um, when I hear people around me that are not doing good and they're still partying and stuff, that hurts.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes me feel bad about it. You know,
Yeah.
I had to walk away from a lot of people that I cared about, a lot of friends and stuff. I've had friends pass away from it. That sucks. You know, I don't think you should have to say goodbye to somebody like that. You know, like it's a shitty thing. Like the circle of life. Like you bury your loved ones because they've gone through their life, they age, and it's just part of it. But when someone dies like prematurely because of something that maybe you could have helped them with, you're always gonna have like that survivor's guilt.
Right.
So, but I'm an empath. That's like part of my like thing. So I mean, I feel for people. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's a bad thing or not, but
Yeah. I mean, I definitely understand that 100%. Um, so another thing is, do you drink?
I'm actually coming up. I have some
Do you
something.
smoke weed? Like, do you do anything, or you
No,
just
no.
okay?
Now I'm pretty boring. I mean, I look like a big party animal, and for a while I was drinking still, and like um, December 15th, I have a thing with 15s for some reason, and
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't like I picked that day. December 15th of last year, I stopped drinking, so now I'm coming up on that year anniversary, and um, the thing with that was I can't drink like a gentleman. I never was able to. Like I have to. If I'm in, I'm going for it. I'm gonna do shots, and I'm gonna drink until I either pass out or don't want to drink anymore. And I'm just like hungover by the time I get. It was weird. I was getting like hungover in the middle of nights that I was drinking. Like I just felt like shit.
Mm-hmm.
And some of my bar bills, like towards the end, were pretty bad. So I was like, all right, it's time for me to step back from this now.
Right.
So that's been easy.
Yeah.
Um, the first time, like like going to concerts and stuff, that was always my favorite thing to do, like pre-gaming, just going to shows and having a drink, going on the train and drinking, you know, um, tailgating, going into concerts and stuff, even performing. Like I
I was
said,
gonna say, how is it with you being a performer? How is that?
it was
Like,
weird the first
when did
time
your
going.
band start?
I've been playing for like 25 years, so like
So your recovery happened during it.
all of them.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So like Demon Scar now, the band that I'm in, has dealt with the newly sober Nick, newly clean Nick, with all his feelings and thoughts. Those first couple of songs that I wrote came from me trying to get back to what I was like, having that what's that word? Um, confidence. Having the confidence and like just having like believing in myself and everything, and you can hear a lot of like in the lyrics and stuff. It's a lot of struggling going
Mhm.
on. So and a lot of you know trying to forgive myself about stuff. I really feel bad about like the relapse thing. Like I said, I'm not gonna. That's the one thing. I wish I didn't relapse the day that my daughter was born.
How long were you sober before she was born?
Not that long,
Okay.
but I kind of like gave up because I was like, all right, I'm gonna be a new dad. I don't want her to come up to me one day and be like, Daddy, what's wrong? Like I want to be on my game.
Mhm.
So I was like, all right, I can walk away from this, and I thought that I was able to, and I didn't. I had one. I feel like one challenge, and that's where I turned to.
Right. How is your relationship with your daughter now and your ex-wife?
Great. Like we, me and my ex-wife were friends. Like I think we had to remove ourselves from each other, live in separate quarters, and focus on our daughter and be ultimate like co-parents. So, because that's I've seen even in my own family divorce wreck a lot of things,
Mhm.
and it's always hard. It's the kids that really suffer the most. So we kind of were like, listen, let's put our shit aside. Obviously, it's not working, so let's not have it taken out on Zozo. So like now we're able to do stuff together. We celebrate birthdays and stuff. We've gone away together, and it's just like um, it's good. It's definitely good. Zoe still has no idea like the shit that I've gone through in life. I feel like I'll have that conversation with her when she asks. I'm not gonna hide it,
Right.
because maybe she needs to hear her dad's not perfect.
Mhm.
I would have loved to hear that because I
Right.
always put my dad on a pedestal, and then I only found out about things after the fact, and I'm like, I would have rather have heard it from him than hear it from somebody
Right.
else.
Did your parents have any addictions or anything?
No, 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 not at all. They just they were typical like old school. Everything was a secret kind of thing.
Right.
But they didn't have addiction wasn't their thing.
Mhm.
So they I think I saw my father get drunk once, and that was it. Like it was a New Year's Eve party, and like he got wasted, fell down, threw up all over himself, made a fool of himself, and that was it. Like the next morning, he was like, "You're never gonna see your father like that," and I never did. And my mother was always like the fun, like the fun drunk
Mhm.
at parties and stuff. Like she would just dance and stuff and have her wine, but she would get buzzed off of fucking opening up a bottle of wine. She'd
Right.
smell it. She'd be like, "Oh,
Yeah. So now that you're sober and clean, what are the things that you're doing now? Like, what do you do now
Um, as far as
to
like
stay busy?
to stay busy,
You got your foot in the comedy game.
yeah, I'm doing that. I'm doing like my podcast. I'm doing uh the music always. Movies, I just started doing that like over the last couple of years, like producing, like being part of like the production of a movie and stuff. I got a couple of things that are coming out. So the writing will never stop. Like I feel like
Mhm.
I always have to get that out, whether it's ideas or songs, poems, whatever. I have like my notes app on my phone, and I'm always constantly writing shit inside that.
Mhm.
You know, I used to write it in little pads and stuff and notebooks, but yeah, the writing you gotta find that. You gotta find something that takes your mind off of things and like makes you uh makes you happy.
Right. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, it's
Hopefully we have you back again when you do your next movie thing.
yeah, absolutely. And there's always the Rexy's back in court soon.
Oh my God, I know.
December, I think December 18th.
Yep, we're definitely gonna do one for that.
Yeah, we have to.
So we'll have you back with Jackie. But thank you so much for coming and telling your story. This is so important.
Absolutely.
There are so many people that you could lean on and talk to about different types of addiction. And even if you feel like you're lost or you have no one to talk to, there are so many people that share your story or have their own story. So definitely look for help if you want it, or if you're a family member, then your family member needs help. But thank you so much for watching. This was another episode of Cats at the Bag.